Hi, and welcome to One Game Day. Today's episode is All Act 2. More specifically, I'm talking about Destiny 2 and, well, a number of other things. Quick update, the rugby season is now over, so the likelihood of me getting any further bloody noses is limited to who I end up pissing off. But for the moment, well, it was a good season. I was playing for the Warriors Rugby Club, the second team, because I didn't have time to make practice this year. But still, the opportunity to play was enough for me, and they're a great bunch of guys. We lost, but just playing's fun. Yeah, that's why I play rugby. I love the chance to run around, to socialize, to just hang out with a great bunch of people. But while the season may be over, our first team is going into the semifinals of the Champions League here in Finland. And the women's didn't do well. But, not for lack of trying.
Looks like a ritual.
Deny their objective, whatever it is.
And yeah, so rugby season's well and over for me. I'll still be playing touch. And I'm not talking again because I'm concentrating too much on shooting. But I'll deal with that in a moment. Rugby's over. I've still got touch rugby to play. And in general, just fun to be had. I mean, it's the exercise I get. Yeah, trying to concentrate on the shooter and talk is not my forte. Probably shouldn't play Destiny 2 so much, but it's going to be the game I play a lot in the future.
The same way you finish everything, Guardian, with flair.
Just because it has so much going for it. Only problem is there's not actually a lot happening. Destiny 2 is all Act 2. Similar to how just about it follows the comic book formula.
The Fallen need servitors to provide them with ether. Unless they found a replacement, like Siva. Gosh, I hope there's no Siva on Titan.
The world gets a reset, but the characters don't change. And even the world being reset hasn't changed much of anything. It's these are minimal changes. These are basically superficial changes. And the cat's in the way. No one wants to look at the cat's butt. Yeah, so if you see watch the video or the live stream, occasionally you'll see the cat. And his decision to put his butt in front of the camera. Or, as he's trying to do now, he's trying to destroy a piece of paper. Down. Bad kitty. It's behind that wall. But yeah, so Act 2 is, well,
Cycling power. Let's find
it's the
out.
act where, you know, a character is come to some terms with the situation and is seeking to return it to what it was before. So Act 1 was the loss of light in the beginning, you know, the introduction of Gaul. But we very quickly moved on to Act 2 because it wasn't that long that we spent without light. What's the point of playing Destiny if you don't have light? You're just playing Halo? And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Halo. That's why I followed Bungie to Destiny. But they're not
That's 2.
committed to changing anything
Devices that
in the
require
world.
multiple separate activations. Aren't those, you know, really dangerous?
Did I say the reactor was safe?
Here I was thinking you liked us.
The people Sloan likes tend to wind up in crossfire and defensible positions. Ask me how I know.
It's because I trust you to survive, Commander. All right, with those terminals refreshed, we've pinpointed the reactor
And,
boot-up console.
you know,
Light 'em up.
the world changed, however briefly. But then it's reset. We have the tower, we have our powers. The only person to die was really of little consequence, and that's the speaker, who was voiced by Bill Nye. Not the science guy, the British actor. If you saw Love Actually, he's in that. If you saw the first, what's that vampire werewolf movie? I'm blanking on the name of the movie. Underworld with Kate something. Yeah, in that, Bill Nye's the villain, because why wouldn't it be? He makes a good villain. But that's beside the point. What we have in Destiny is no change. We have new locations, we have new guns, we have some new powers. It's just Destiny 2 is an overhaul. Destiny Destiny 2 is an improvement on Destiny, but it's still Destiny. It's a reset in so much as such as I'm having to now fight these ogres. Yeah. So Destiny 2 is all Act 2 because you're granted some motivation in the beginning. But it doesn't last. It doesn't matter because the world returns to what it was. It's just the same old Destiny. It's the same. It's like a comic book, you know, no one truly dies. No one there's no loss, there's no change. And Destiny 2 sucks for that. I mean, I wanted something different. I wanted more from the story. But did we get that? No, and I just died stupidly. Ugh. It's... okay, it takes skill, it takes imagination to write compelling Act 2s. The greatest comic book writers do just that. They keep us returning time and time again for just such things. Is that what we always want? No, I want something more from a video game campaign, even one that's supposed to be MMO-like. I want so much more from all my media. And I'm not... At this point, I don't expect to get it from something like Destiny. In part because, well, that's not what they're going for. It's... They are... They're telling a story, and it's an interesting one, but it's not one that... It's not one that ultimately is that interesting. Because it keeps falling back to the, oh, we're superheroes. We're sitting high in our tower. And crap. Why did I let that happen? We're sitting high in our tower, quite literally, staring down into the city that we don't even get to explore. We ran through it in the campaign, but it is in no way something we interact with further after the campaign. Zavala talks about how, you know, we should... the city is everywhere. The city is all. Like, we're stretching beyond just the walls. Wherever, you know, there's humanity is the city, and that's what we have to protect. Which is an interesting thing, and definitely says more about what we're doing here. But does nothing for what the game is currently, or what the actual state of the game is, because he's still there in the tower giving orders. And so while we got some development from him as a character, we didn't get any from our character, because they're more than just blank slates. They're just utterly empty vessels. They are quite literally zombies brought back from the dead by our ghosts, who just run out there and commit to, you know, whatever mission they've been given, which is all well and good, but at the same time, it just allows for the weak side. Gaul was not a good enemy. We faced off with him once. He took our light, but beyond that, never posed a threat. He never kept being an antagonist. He was just some scarecrow standing there at the tower, or what was the tower, and now on his ship, occupying, you know, a space, because narratively they were trying to give us a compelling reason to fight him. And once we got our light back, what's the compelling reason? He wasn't doing anything more. Not just that, we had to get the band back together, which is standard trope, but upon doing so, what was left? It was there wasn't much. It was just
Still operational too.
all that. Yeah, we got the band back together, but there was no missteps. There was no mistakes. There was no learning.
Too bad.
Don't let it distract you. Wake up that reactor.
There was there's nothing along that way that required us to rethink what we were doing. Nothing that said we needed to try something else.
Didn't mean to free the captain.
nothing that... Yeah, there were no missteps. Like, okay, occasionally we'd have to do something and we have to do it a couple more times, but it was never such that we had to...
Let's get out of here.
I can see the reactor on heat scans, bright and clear. Well done, Guardian. Now all we have to do is get to it before the Fallen do. Should be easy, right?
We never had to try to do anything. We never had to... Yeah, it just... The way we went about interacting with the world, and I'm not talking about the verbs of the game, I'm talking about just the storyline. It never changed. There was no implication for what we did. And that is ultimately quite boring. And I think Destiny 2 is lacking for that. That said, you know, they set up another villain with the post-credit sequence, which is fine. I mean, that's a complete Act 2 thing to do. Oh boy. I just killed myself. They set it up in such a way that there's more to come. There's the next great villain to face. But as ever, you're only ever going to be resetting the world to how it was before. You're ensuring that Act 2 continues. And if you want a better idea of what I'm talking about, look at Dan Harmon's work. Whether it's Community, Rick and Morty, or anything else he writes. The world changes with every episode. Every decision, every adventure, there's an implication that has wider consequences. And his writing, the stories, the team, what he puts together is better for it. And
Thanks to you, the reactor is online, and
I
we
mean,
know
I think
just
that's
where it
brilliant.
is.
I'd love to
Dropping
see what would
coordinates
happen
now.
if he wrote a superhero comic, or if he wrote a video game. I mean, I don't know how much he's been involved
So we
with
do
the...
this fast. We've got this, Commander.
I don't know how involved he is. With the Rick and Morty mobile games or any of the other Rick and Morty content that's out there that's not the TV show. And yeah, I just think you could be doing more. You could have implications. Of course, I think it's difficult in this MMO structure that Destiny 2 has, because you can't constantly be changing the world. With major updates you can. I look at the way WoW does it. Look at the way other MMOs have. You know, they've made major changes. But it's not something I feel like Bungie is prepared to do. They're supposed to be, you know, creating new content. They're supposed to have a roadmap for creating more story. How effective that truly is something else entirely. And whether or not they'll achieve a good story, I don't know. We have to wait and see. Right now, I feel like all we're getting is Act 2. We're getting the world reset because you have new players coming in who have never dealt with Destiny, never seen this world, and don't know all the backstory. And Stan Lee says this, you know, every comic book is someone's first comic. Which is fair enough, but that doesn't mean one shouldn't be moving the story forward. I would love to see more challenging storylines, more happening in the game. Oh boy. Than what they have so far. I want more than Act 2. I mean, I'd love to say goodbye to characters. I'd love to see some of them I'd love to see a greater implication for my actions beyond, oh, the tower has returned. Want just, I mean, I know I shouldn't be expecting this from Destiny. I know I shouldn't really expect it from many video games, because like the superhero, you know, stories they replicate, they're always going to be Act 2.
Ouch. That had to hurt.
And yeah, I just want more. I want more story. I mean, I like what they've done structurally. I like how they're telling small stories in Bungie or in Destiny. I think they can excel at that. I think getting to explore the world by doing that is brilliant. But then give me just that. Give me these short stories.
Watch out.
Give me reasons to not expect the traditional. Give me, yeah, just give me these little side quests. Give me non-exploding enemies. Just give me story. I want story, but I want it to be compelling. Or if you are going to do all Act 2, then explore your themes to the fullest. Don't start with this idea of what it means to be brave. you can't die. If there's no...
Sloan, why do the Fallen want the reactor?
For ether production, probably. They hook up a big servitor to it, they double or triple output. Why do you ask?
No reason.
You gotta love the Merciless. It is quite the gun. Yeah, so... It's...
I can't believe that captain's still ahead of us. He's much cleverer than most of the captains we've met. Well, I say met, but you know what I mean.
No. Sorry, I'm slowing down. I should be talking more. I say that and then I stop talking. Yay.
Remind me, do we like the Hive or Fallen better? This captain gave us a good run for it. Not a lot like him out there. Let's get Sloan her reactor.
Yeah. Sorry. On the parenting side, it's been
Sloan, guess what
a
we
relatively easier week.
Is it
Kids
a
still
methane reactor?
not napping. Only falls asleep when we go for a walk,
Yeah.
which
Anyway, we're bringing it in.
I look forward to
means
your arrival.
it's... Oh. Which means... Well, I don't get to do a whole lot. I need to work on things more. And I just need to get better at coordinating with my mother-in-law about when she can watch the kid for me. Because, you know, my game is coming along far slower than it needs to. I have the whole thing worked out in my head.
Guardian,
But
thanks to you,
am I
our
doing
power
it?
shortages are just a bad memory. Between the
No.
wave generators and this reactor, we're seeing systems light up we didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
You brought a little bit of the golden age back to life today.
And so,
who
I haven't
knows
been
what
as
tomorrow
productive
will
as I like. But now with less rugby to deal with, more time on the weekends, hopefully all of that will change. That said, I will be teaching a class about creating video games upcoming in October at Arbis. So you can find more information about that at ilmonet.fi. That's ILMONET.fi. And I am Gregory Placi for One Game Dad. You can find me at onegamedad.com, on Twitter at onegamedad, here on Twitch at onegamedad. Same goes for YouTube. Just search One Game Dad. And of course Patreon if you like what I do or just want me to shut up a little more or talk a little more. You can find me everywhere as One Game Dad. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope I said something insightful. I really doubt it. But I'll see you next time. So have a great day. Bye for now.